Hello, my comic collecting friends. It's Matt, Comic Order 410, here to bring you installment part 36 of my keys, variants, and such. And today I'm going to be covering part 2 of my graded books, and I'm going to have to do a third installment for my signature series. And like I said before, most of these are books that I bought raw and submitted to CGC myself. But when I get to a book that I bought that was already slabbed, I'll definitely mention it. To get started, here's my copy of Valiant's Magnus Robot Fighter number 1. Got this back in a 9.6 with white pages. The trading cards are inside. Many of you who were collecting in the early 90s remember the Valiant boom. These books were hugely popular, and a lot of them were expensive right from the get-go. Magnus was my favorite of all the Valiant properties. I was already a fan from Russ Manning's Magnus series from Gold Key, so I was excited when this came out. And I really love this cover to issue number 1 by Bob Layton, and I think he did a great job on this book. Next up, if you have not read the 2006 Moon Knight series, I highly recommend picking it up. It's an amazing read. This is the sketch variant to Moon Knight number 1 by David Finch. Got this back at a 9.8 with white pages. And Charlie Huston wrote this series. Writing's great, but David Finch did the covers and the interiors, and you don't see him doing interiors much anymore. So whether you have to get it in single issues or trades, I recommend picking this series up. It's a great read. Very happy to have this next book. This is Jack Kirby's New Gods number 1. Saw this beautiful raw copy and couldn't walk away from it. And I was very happy it came back in a 9.2 with white pages. And I think this is a very important key, especially as far as Fourth World goes. This is first appearance of Orion, obviously there on the cover. Metron, Calabac, Light Ray, and High Father. So this is a pretty important book. And, you know, what can you say? Jack Kirby's arguably the greatest creator in comics history. And we all know how important his Marvel work is. But when he went to DC, I feel like New Gods and Fourth World were so far ahead of their time. It kind of was over people's heads. It was certainly over mine. I was like 8 years old when I read it, and I didn't understand it. But it certainly looked back now as the classic that it is. It's one of the most important stories ever told in the comic medium, in my opinion. Great stuff, and very happy to own that book. Next up, this is my copy of the first appearance of Deadpool, New Mutants 98. Got this back at a 9.6 with white pages, so I was very happy about that. Actually, when this series was coming out, we knew it was going to be canceled at issue 100, and it certainly wasn't due to lack of sales. This book was selling huge. They were doing it to launch it into the new number 1 of Rob Liefeld's X-Force with multiple trading cards, so everyone would buy multiple copies. But that being said, I was buying doubles at this point, so I bought 2 copies of this off the rack. This was my unread copy, and I don't know if you can see it here, but it's hard to see in the Mylar. That staple bows out a little bit. It's not flush to the spine, so I think that is the flaw that brought it down. But very happy to own that book. I have less than 20 bucks into that copy, so that's amazing. Next up, I bought this book a couple months ago. This is one I bought already graded. I'm a big Hellboy fan. I have the library editions, a lot of the single issues, and I kept saying to myself, I don't have any of his first appearances. So when I saw this XMen 21 on the wall at my local shop, I bought it. I splurged a little bit. It was definitely a good bit under fair market value, but it wasn't that cheap. But I was definitely fine with it since it was, they already had the cost of grading sunk into it. But this is XMen 21, the first color appearance of Hellboy, and it's a 9.2 copy with white pages, so I was happy I picked that up. This is the beautiful sketch cover to Spawn 150. Got this back at a 9.8 with white pages. And the front cover is this beautiful Todd McFarlane Spawn sketch. Even the logo and everything is in his rough pencils. And the back has this incredible Jim Lee Spawn sketch. So I just love this cover. I think it's beautiful. Very happy to have that. This is Amazing Spider-Man 90, The Death of Captain Stacy. Got this back in a 9.0 with white pages, and this is actually a book I bought when I was in elementary school, and it was not too long after one of my brother's friends pulled me aside and showed me how to take care of my comics and how to store them properly. And if you're watching, thank you, Dean, because had this book all these years and submitted to CGC 6 or 8 years ago or whatever, and it came back 9.0 with white pages, so that was pretty cool. I think this is a book that could benefit from pressing, because it has this uneven wrap here showing at the bottom. So this is one that could definitely benefit from a pressing, but happy to have it either way. This is Amazing Spider-Man 238, first appearance of the Hobgoblin. Got this back at a 9.2 with white pages. The tattoos are included, and Overstreet tries to say that the price is the same with or without the tattoos, and that's their opinion, but I certainly don't agree with it. I think if you look at real-world sales, not only do people go after the ones with the tattoos in it, they sell for more. So I was very happy to have this, and this was a book that was already hot in the 80s. I think, I went after this book in like 87 or 88, and I was, I guess, in middle school, or maybe, yeah. And I wanted a copy. It was already worth like 60 or 80 bucks, and I had to get, there was no eBay back then. I had to get my mom to drive me to a different comic shop every weekend trying to find a copy that was decent shape and had the tattoos, and after a couple weeks I found one. So that was one of my early quests for a certain comic book, and I was happy to get that. This is my copy of Amazing Spider-Man 300, first appearance of Venom. I think probably the most iconic issue of Todd McFarlane's legendary Amazing Spider-Man run. Got this back at a 9.4 with white pages. This is another book I bought already slabbed. Again, the same friend I bought the Black Panther variant off of, he needed some money, and he had this copy of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, number 36, CGC to 9.6 with white pages. It's a 9/11 issue. Great copy for an all-black cover. And he needed some money, and I think I gave him 50 or 60 bucks for this book and the Black Panther variant. So I think I got a great deal, and I helped him out when he needed some money, and happy to have that book. The book was really hot at one point. Here is my copy of Star Wars number 100. Got it back in a 9.2 with off-white to white pages. And I honestly think this is, page quality aside, a little better than the 9.2. There's not a flaw on the front cover. The back cover looks pretty nice too. Just love, Tom Palmer is mostly known as an inker, but I love when he does his painted covers, and I really like this cover. And I've always said that this cyborg guy here, I'm forgetting his name, he totally looks like a ripoff of Khan from Star Trek, but happy to have that book too. This is one of the earlier books that I submitted years and years ago to CGC, and it's my copy of Star Wars 107, the final issue of Marvel's Star Wars. Got it back in a 9.0 with white pages. Again, think it could be a little higher than a 9.0. Don't really see anything wrong with the cover at all. So, but anyway, yeah, it's a low print run issue. Whilst Portaccio cover, early work from him. Glad to have that book. Here is the Neil Adams variant to All-Star Superman number 1. Got that back at a 9.4 with white pages. Very cool cover. And as excited as I was for Frank Miller and Jim Lee's All-Star Batman, All-Star Superman buries it. Way, way better series. Great read. It's another book I'm very happy to have. Saga of the Swamp Thing, number 20. Got it back at a 9.8 with white pages, and this is the first issue of Alan Moore's epic run on Swamp Thing. Arguably my favorite run in the history of comics, so I'm very happy to have that. Here's the Linnell Francis U variant to Thunderbolts 110. Just love this variant of Venom, so I sent it in to get graded. Got a 9.6 on it with white pages. And if you have not read Warren Ellis's run on Thunderbolts, it's excellent, excellent, excellent. It's when Norman Osborn brings in all these villains to pose as heroes, and it's a great, great run. This is my IDW Transformers Zero RRP variant. Got this back at a 9.6 with white pages. I'm very happy to have this. I don't see, it's not incredibly expensive, but you just don't see a lot of them coming up for sale. Here's the back cover. As you can see, the gold foil, it is part of the 2005 Diamond Retailer Summit. Diamond and Hasbro and IDW. Here's, I believe this is the 1 in 25 variant to Wolverine number 66. Beautiful, beautiful cover by the late, great Michael Turner. Got this back at a 9.8 with white pages. This is part 1 of the Old Man Logan story, and I hate to keep saying it, but this is an absolute must-read. Mark Miller writing it, and Steve McNiven's art is incredible. Definitely pick that up if you haven't read it. Here's another book I bought already slabbed because I got a great deal on it. The case is scuffed up and it had a crack on the bottom, so the guy gave it to me for half price. So I think I paid like 70 or 80 bucks for this book. But it's X-Men 99 at a 9.4 with off-white to white pages. So very glad to have that for that price. And its first appearance of Black Tom. This is X-Men 139. This is Kitty Pryde joins the X-Men. It's a first appearance of Wolverine's tan and brown costume. And got this back at a 9.4 with white pages. Here's arguably my favorite X-Men cover of all time. Wish it got a little better grade, but this is X-Men 141. This is part 1 of Days of Future Past. Got it back at an 8.0 with white pages. And the flaw here is the uneven wrap there. So, again, this is another book that could probably highly benefit from a pressing. Might do that because I love that book. This is X-Men 266. First appearance of Gambit. Got this back at a 9.4 with white pages. This is the Billy Tan sketch variant to X-Men 475. Got this back at a 9.8 with white pages. Love this cover. I mean, his raw pencils here, just his use of light and dark, he is incredible. Show you the back of this book. It's a beauty. Love that variant. Stunning cover. Got a really good deal on that too. And last up here, this is the Michael Turner variant to X-Men 500. Got this back at a 9.4 with white pages, and this is one of, he passed away not long after this, and even though it's a semi-modern cover, it was iconic right away. Posters, t-shirts, everything, and it's a beautiful cover. Very happy to have that. That'll do it for this installment. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. I always appreciate your time. Everyone, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and enjoy your comics.